Welcome back to the Church of Atheism podcast. I'm Trav. Joining me again is Mr. Chris. How's it going, Chris?
No, not too bad. How are you doing?
I'm going to go with swell this time. We're going with swell.
Swell, huh?
Yeah. We're going to be talking about the solar eclipse coming up in about a week from now, I think. The 21st, I believe it is.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the date. Like, it doesn't really matter right now.
Yeah. But yes, there's apparently, I was looking for information on the date and the time and all the good stuff, and I found a few Christian websites who believe it's a sign of the end of times to come.
Oh, again.
Yeah, because, those guys are really good at predicting the end of the world.
Yeah, like, so good they do it all the time.
Yeah. A lot of practice they've got.
Yeah, they do.
So like, I came across the headline, "Is a solar eclipse a sign from God?" And I was kind of thinking not really.
I'm thinking, no, it happens all the time, but,
yeah.
What did they have to say about that?
Oh, your typical Bible quotes and the end is near. That kind of fun stuff. I was hoping to see words like "no, stupid," "we have a scientific understanding of what an eclipse is." Instead, it was just a long-ass article about the Bible, tells us an eclipse is a sign, and a pastor explaining how we can connect eclipses and other signs from the Bible. And then it didn't take me long to just say, "Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous."
Yeah. You just kind of gave up after a while?
Yeah. I actually read the whole thing, but I think I don't know, there's something about this that really struck a nerve. Just the fact that religion has to be in almost fucking everything.
Especially when it involves, like the stars and the sun and the solar system and anything in space. Anything that we've had an understanding of for like a few thousand years. Right. I think they've pretty much got the handle on what the eclipse is. Like, a couple thousand years ago.
Yeah. But it's just like, we don't need religion for it. We understand what an eclipse is. We know why it happens. And it drives me insane when a headline like this was discovered by scientists. Like, scientists understand why and when. Like, we can predict the future, when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen. And then some religion, regardless of who, has to take over and say, it's a sign from God.
Yeah.
Like, no. Science knows what it is, where it is, why it's happening. We don't need you for this.
Yeah, we could predict eclipses well in advance.
Yeah, we know there's going to be one in the year 2024.
Right.
And I'm going to make a prediction. There's going to be a bunch of religious idiots taking credit for this one too, saying that one's a sign of the end.
Yeah.
So I'm going to predict their prediction 7 years ahead, and I'm going to call myself a genius in 7 years.
Right. I think maybe I should do that and amass some followers, because the good thing about knowing when an eclipse is, it's like a presidential campaign, so you can really prepare for it.
True. Very true.
So I could get a lot of followers, have them donate money.
Do you think we should make some sort of a cult for the next one?
Yeah. I've been overdue in starting a cult for a while.
I actually just looked at my schedule, or my calendar, and I was like, yeah, I should have done this about 2 years ago.
Yeah. I'm sick of not, because, like, so I've read a lot about cults. It seems easy. Yeah. It doesn't really, like, as far as being a boss goes, it doesn't seem all that stressful.
Nah. You hire, like, one good henchman to do all the work for you.
Yeah, that's what you do.
You just promise people the world.
Yeah, you can pretty much, like, bang anyone you want.
Yeah, drink what you want, eat what you want, do whatever drug you want. It's paradise.
Yeah, it seems pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's easy, because, I was, you're talking about people freaking out over the eclipse, and I was reading a lot about. Do you remember when December was the 23rd, 2012? That was supposed to be a huge deal.
Yeah, the Mayan calendar predicted or some
yeah,
shit.
it was allegedly the end of the Mayan calendar, which it really wasn't. But people were freaking out, like, because this is what bugs me is that you can exploit people who believe it, and not just like the religious people, but like the dumb New Age spiritual dopes.
Yeah.
You could easily manipulate them.
Easily.
Like, I knew so many people who were like, I don't know, it just pissed me off. Like, it really annoyed me. Because they're like, yeah, something's going to happen. I heard that from so many people. Like, what? What's going to happen?
Right.
Like, I don't know. Something's going to happen.
Like, there's always like a 1 or 2% chance something weird might happen, but I wouldn't really say I was afraid something was going to happen. I was like, it'd be interesting if something did.
Yeah.
Like, but it didn't. Nothing happened. Oh, again.
Yeah, like, I remember getting into so many arguments, like, how, like, all the planets are going to align, which I believe was true, but, like, that happens all the time. Not all the time, but it probably happens once in a lifetime, or maybe more if I remember right. And not only that, none of the planets are big enough to even remotely affect our gravity, so
right.
that couldn't have possibly caused any sort of disaster. I think that was one of the best arguments that.
Yeah, the planets are going to align. Okay. So, what's that mean?
Yeah, what's that mean? I don't know. I read it, though.
Really good view of all the planets?
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose if you're out there in space, that might...
yeah. Might mean something.
Oh, but I was reading about people who, made millions off of 2012, apocalypse shelters, basically.
Yeah, just pure exploitation.
Yeah, anytime there's some sort of event like that, or I don't know. Yeah, you could make doomsday shelters. I've learned, and make quite the pretty penny.
Oh, I'm sure.
And if there's an apocalypse, let's just say, if there's something like let's say the Mayan calendar did predict the end of the world, which it actually never once did. Like, that was just when one of the cycles ran out.
Right. I read something similar. It was trying to describe it like a car odometer going from 999,000 miles to rolling over.
Yeah, I think that's basically what it was.
It doesn't mean your car's going to die. It's just a new phase.
Yeah, not only... Yeah, they actually... Like, I was reading earlier about how the Mayan calendar... And most, Mayan manuscripts never really did a lot of predicting of major events. Like, they were expert astronomers. They could predict, eclipses, for example.
Nice tie-in.
Well in advance. Yeah. Apparently they were pretty accurate at that, but I don't think they actually predicted the end of the world.
No. Yeah, I just found... excuse me. I found it fascinating. One of the priests that was for that article, for the eclipse, quoted Exodus. Where'd my notes go? Oh, according to Exodus 10:21-23, it says, "Then the Lord said to Moses," this is actually fucking hilarious. "Then the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand toward the sky, so that darkness spreads over Egypt, darkness that can be felt. So Moses stretched out his hand towards the sky, and total darkness covered all Egypt for 3 days. No one could see anyone else or move about for 3 days. Yet all the Israelites had light in the places where they lived." And then the pastor said, "Sounds like a solar eclipse, right?" Yeah. That thing where a dude holds his hands up and casts a shadow over an entire country for 3 days sounds exactly like what's going to take place for several minutes here in America.
Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate.
Nailed it.
That's pretty funny. So he just put his hand up and just blocked out the sun?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh, I didn't know you could do that.
I went outside to try it, and it turns out I couldn't actually see Egypt, so I don't know if it worked or not.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Egypt has like the little hole in the earth where the sun. Yeah. So all you got to do is put your finger over the hole and no more sun.
Yeah. They didn't really describe that too well in the Bible, but that's how it works.
Yeah. You got to take what the Bible says, add your own stuff into it, and just feed it into people's heads. That's pretty much how it works.
So yeah, I don't think we need religion telling us what an eclipse is or what the end of times are. I kind of feel like we can just end this episode now. We got it.
Oh, I was definitely gonna bring up Harold Camping because that was pretty interesting. Ended up reading on him again, and he was the guy who. This is like kind of interesting, but he was the guy who in May, like he had I think it was called like Family Radio. It was a big Christian radio network, and he had a lot of followers. He was definitely
my favorite.
He's definitely known for liking Jesus a whole lot. Like, he had that reputation. He was famous for it. But he was the guy that in like May 2011, he said that he said the world was going to end in May 2011. Like, I think he said that about 6 months beforehand or so. And, like, he donated, because he has millions of listeners and stuff. And He had a lot of money to talk about the end of the world. So he ended up getting, like, I don't know if it was like a GoFundMe or just some... No, I don't think it was that. But he ended up receiving a lot of donations, like millions of dollars donations for... I don't know, preparedness or something. I don't know what they're like. Cause I don't know if he was.
Here's some money in case we all die.
Yeah. I didn't. It just said in like he received millions of dollars. And when I was reading that, I didn't stop and think to look up why they were giving him money for it. But he'd been talking about how the world was going to end. And then this is great. So he gets like millions of dollars, and May 2011 comes around, and nope, like now the end of the world didn't happen. So it's kind of funny. He like did the thing where he was like, because I can't remember the exact numbers, but you know how there's just stupid numbers and phrases throughout the Bible.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was from Revelations or something, but he added some numbers to other numbers and then maybe divided and subtracted.
His calculation was off or whatever.
Yeah. It said basically his calculations were off. And then, but no, luckily he was doing his research because he discovered that no, the world's going to end in October of 2011 instead, so...
Right, he probably just forgot to carry the 1.
Yeah, probably.
That's my biggest mistake. When I'm adding and it goes more than 10, and I forget to carry the 1, it throws everything off.
Yeah, sometimes I forget to carry the I.
Yeah.
Stupid Roman numeral joke.
That's because Roman numerals are heavier than American numbers. No one knows that. It's harder to carry.
That's true. Oh man. So yeah, but like the thing that kind of made me laugh was in May when like 'cause people donated money, so they were pretty pissed. I guess like that's a weird. Now that I think about it, that's a weird mentality. Like if you donate money for end of the world preparedness, but the world doesn't end. Like, how mad could you really be?
Shouldn't you be mad at yourself for falling for such a stupid scam?
Well, you should. But yeah, who would you be mad at? Him
God.
for taking the money, or I guess.
Damn it, God! I sent a whole bunch of money, and now we're still alive.
Mhm.
Your plan sucks.
Yeah. But it was funny because so a lot of people were pissed, and then some people wanted their money back, and they announced that they weren't going to give the money back. It was like, no, the world's still going to end, so we're going to need this.
Yeah, just eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta love religion.
Oh, and I guess they, so like the family radio, or, I don't know why, it was an easy name, that's why I didn't write it down. But they ended up going, well, he ended up having like some strokes, and I don't remember how he justified his end of the world thing. I think he just stopped talking to people in general, if I remember right, old Harold Camping. But, his radio network went under. I think they spent about $5 million on billboards advertising the end of the world. So like and then like he lost a shitload of followers, obviously.
What?
Like a huge percentage. So I think they ended up going under or something, or maybe get bought out, and he's dead. So that's that story.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Just read about Daniel Pinchbeck. I don't know if you know him.
No.
He's a real dope. Yeah, he's like an author, like New Age guru, and he's one of those people that really urge you to do hallucinogens because it makes you get in touch with your spiritual side and all that. And don't get me wrong, I definitely advocate hallucinogens, but that's just to get fucked up. Like, I'm not bringing, because it's fun. It's
not
fun
spirituality,
to do.
huh?
No, I don't advocate getting in touch with spirits. Because really, if you're doing acid, you could be listening to the wall, or you could be watching the wall, which is even crazier.
And if you're taking advice from a wall, something's wrong with you.
No, I mean the Pink Floyd movie.
Oh, true.
Or I've literally sat there and watched the wall, like, kind of vibrate, I guess you could say. No, you could do that too. Yeah, you can just stare at the wall.
Did you know the Dark Side of the Moon and the Wizard of Oz thing is actually a true thing?
Is it really?
Yeah, there's a YouTube video. I think it's The Dark Side of the Wall. I think it's what it's called. Or no, The Dark Side of the Rainbow.
I'm not sure, but I almost want to say that I read an interview with one of them, and they finally was like, yeah, that was on purpose.
Yeah, it's crazy. I watched it like two months ago for the first time, and I've probably watched it 5 times since then, because, I mean, Pink Floyd's badass.
Yeah.
But, like, it's crazy. Like, scenes change just as the song change. And it fits the theme. It's crazy. Did you know a lot of the Led Zeppelin songs are actually rip-offs of other songs?
Pretty much, the older I got, the more I realized that, like, the bulk of their catalog is mostly old blues songs.
Yeah, that made me really sad to learn.
Same with Eric Clapton.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Most of, like, not only even old blues songs, like his friend J.J. Cale, like, let's see, After Midnight.
Right.
Cocaine. But, yeah.
That sucks.
But
I like Clapton.
It is actually, like, in the end, like, a lot of people don't realize that it was kind of a good thing for those guys, because, like, especially with Eric Clapton, like, a lot of these old blues guys who never even made it out of, like, Mississippi.
Right.
Like, all of a sudden, because of Eric Clapton, they started doing shows in, like, England, because they had a whole new audience. So, like, it is kind of a good thing. And actually, like, Eric Clapton was really, like, generous and would, take those guys out have them, like, open for him and stuff.
Right. Where Zeppelin just stole and never never helped.
Pretty much, yeah.
Bastards. But sounds good.
Yeah.
I love their music still, even though half of it's not theirs.
Yeah, it still rocks. But it could also be argued that, like, Jimmy Page especially pretty much, like, made it his own song.
Yeah.
Like, he changed it so much. Because I was listening to Gallows Pole. That's another. That's a really, really old song. That was a freaking good one.
Yeah.
Oh, Lead Belly. That's who did.
They even sold the name.
Yeah. Oh, I was reading about why I love Keith Moon from The Who. Well, actually, when you said that, like, he was the one that, the famous story about how he gave him the name. About how, because he was just a dick and he liked to talk shit and fuck with people. So when Led Zeppelin was forming, he was like, yeah, that'll go down like a Led Zeppelin.
And they just ran with it.
Yeah, no, like, they took the name from Keith Moon, just talking shit. And became one of the biggest bands ever. But then I was reading like what I love about Keith Moon really is that his last words were apparently to his girlfriend or whatever, and they were "fuck off."
Solid.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't want my last words to be something sentimental. I want them just to be that. Like,
yeah, no shit.
Suck it, wench.
I was reading like an article about the last encounters with rock stars, and the fucking John Bonham. This is a pretty rock and roll thing. One of his friends, him and John Bonham went out for breakfast, and then John Bonham ate a bunch of food and took about 22 or so shots of vodka, and then he was like, breakfast. And then they parted, and then he died later.
Breakfast of champions.
Hell yeah. Oh, one thing I did actually write down. One thing I was gonna write down. I don't know how we could fit this in, but it's pretty badass. Some people in Scotland, of all places, named a ancient crocodile after Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, because like,
that is awesome.
They somehow classified it. They thought it was a bigger version of like these other ancient crocodiles, but they found out that it was a separate species, so they didn't have a name for it. So they named it like Lemmy.
Actually, I got to see them, like in 2005, I think.
Oh, nice.
Front row. We got there stupid early. We got free tickets because I knew a guy that worked at a radio station who called me and said, "Don't ask questions, just call the station right now." I was like, okay. And I called, and he's like, "You just won tickets to tonight's Motorhead concert."
Nice.
Yeah. Little insider deal.
Dude, that's like that's pretty fucking badass. Cause if it was in like when did you say?
05, I think.
Yeah, that was back when he was still getting all fucked up. Cause he was only sober for like the last year of his life for sure.
Right.
But like, yeah,
they kicked ass, man.
I bet. Like the last year or so, Lemmy was still fucking doing shows, but he was definitely getting pretty frail.
Yeah.
40 or 50 years he drank minimum a liter of Jack Daniels a day.
Jesus.
Yeah. For fucking 40 straight years, like every day.
And he died when he went clean.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
That was the story. Don't never give up.
Oh, and then that's not to mention how many like amphetamines. Because back in the 60s and 70s, especially in Europe, like all those bands, they had to perform like twice a night in different countries, so they would like just constantly be up on amphetamines. So, and I imagine Lemmy probably got to be an expert to where if he started drinking too much, you just pop some amphetamines, balance yourself out,
right?
Then you keep on drinking.
Rumor has it he didn't sleep for 40 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, he's one of those people like Ozzy, to where scientists are literally baffled how he didn't die.
Right. I mean, the fact that Ozzy's still around, even though you can't understand the fuck he's saying, it's still pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, you can't really understand him, and he can't remember most of his own lyrics, but he still performs.
He still breathes. He's
Yeah.
still on stage.
Yeah, somehow. I didn't have anything really interesting to say, but I was going to go off on New Age people and New Age beliefs are fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Because really, like, because like whenever one of these types of things happen, like whether the planets are aligning and the stars are aligning, like, yeah, there's a lot of religious people, but I don't know why. Maybe it's the news I'm reading, but it's the fucking, or maybe it's just what I see on Facebook. But it's like the New Age spiritual people that really annoy me during these things. Because at least you know, I'll give like most religion benefit of the doubt that they're going off of at least something that's thousands of years old. Whereas like New Age spiritual people just make shit up.
Yes.
Like that's really all it is. It's just made up shit. Like, oh, the planets are aligned. Like, yeah, what does that got to do with fucking anything?
Right.
Maybe I need one of them to explain it to me, like what that shit has to do with anything. And then like, oh, they start talking about like they use the word energy a lot. Like, yeah, everything has energy, but I don't think you're grasping the concept of what energy really is.
Right, you're not a fucking Jedi. Calm down.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you just feel its energy. Yeah, could you feel its fucking protons and shit?
You douche.
You douche. But I don't know, yeah, when you mentioned the eclipse, like the other day, I got all these flashbacks of all these arguments that I was in with people who thought something crazy was going to happen in 2012. Like, it's the end of the Mayan calendar. No, it's not.
Well, even like Y2K was like...
Oh, that's a good one. God.
To be honest, though, that one had the most credibility of all of them. Only because...
Like, I do agree.
Like, we still do. We put so much trust in our computers and our networks and shit. It wouldn't take much to just bring everything to a halt.
Yeah, especially, like, during that time, like, we spent, like, the 90s putting, like, digitizing everything, putting everything in computers. And, like,
right.
And even by 1999, like, yeah, you're right. I think it did have the most, like, it was the most believable one, because, like, especially for people to freak out about, because everybody knew that computers were important, but that was a time when no one really knew shit about them.
Right, and we had no idea what we were gonna what was gonna happen in the future either. Like, we couldn't have predicted, from the 90s till now, all the shit that's happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we didn't know we were gonna have phones in our pockets that we could watch, sports or get the news or porn, just in the palm, like. I was gonna say palm in the hand, but.
Some people still don't understand that, because I sold a lot of porn magazines, like when I worked at the gas station a little while ago. It's like, dude, yeah, did you not have a phone?
Have you not heard about this wonderful thing called the internet?
I basically have a little porn machine that occasionally calls and texts people. That's what I look at it as. Oh yeah, but I remember seeing, like, the news, and people really went overboard with that. Like, I remember watching the news, and they were showing, like, I don't know where it was, but it was definitely in the South, and people were stocking up on, like, toilet paper and jugs of water. It was insane. Like, people really do freak out about the smallest things.
Yeah, and it's like something like that happens. Extra toilet paper is going to be the least of your concern.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Probably chopping firewood. That was in January.
Yeah.
Like chopping down firewood, that's going to be your big concern.
Yeah. I wonder how many places if Y2K actually did happen. I wonder how many jobs people would have lost because they didn't show up the next day. You know?
Right.
Like, boss, there's literally nothing happening right now because everything just got shut down. Well, you were scheduled at 9.
Yeah. But I also remember like watching like news stories of like, I don't know, like computer experts saying like, no, it's gonna be fine, nothing's gonna happen, and then just for them to watch that and then for people to still freak out is always just so amusing to me.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, oh, you have this expert on computers telling us nothing's going to happen? Well, this other guy on Rush Limbaugh said it's going to happen, so I'm going to go with that guy.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah, I'll go with the expert who agrees with my political views.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting, too. This is totally off topic, but kind of along the same lines. I discovered something a couple days ago that I think our biggest problem in America is there's a certain group of people who might fall on the right side of the spectrum, maybe, just saying, that they don't read news articles. They just read the headlines and then react.
Oh yeah, I think that's like most people in this country nowadays.
Yeah.
Just like in general.
Go ahead.
Because I'll see people like, especially on like social media and Facebook, like people will read a headline and share it, and then like I'll actually start reading the article, and then like this is clearly either so transparently fake or satirical. Like if you just read an article, you could tell whether the people probably read it or not.
Right. This one in particular was it was actually trending on Twitter because people were going berserk about it. It was a New York Times article about our broken economy. And again, I'm not going to specify which side that was on, but it might have been people that had Make America Great Again hashtag in their profiles.
Oh.
Were bitching about how slanted the New York Times is and how the economy's not broken, blah, 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 blah. And that's not what the article is about at all. The article is just going over the fact that the top 1% are making way more now than they were 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And if you read the actual article, you would have understood that point. But instead, they were making points that had nothing to do with the actual article, just because they read the headline.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it was like... And I just feel like we do too much of that in general. Like,
yeah, no, that's a huge problem.
There's a headline I don't agree with. Fuck reading the article. I'm just gonna go crazy about the headline.
Yeah, or I like.
And the thing is, most articles will give you a pretty good definition in the very first paragraph. If you just take the time to read the first paragraph, you'll get a bunch of the story.
Because a lot of times it's not even the writers that come up with the headlines. It's like the editors and shit.
Right.
They want to come up with a headline that'll get people's attention.
Right.
And that way maybe they'll click on it or share it. Either way, that means more ad revenue. But yeah, so a lot of the times an editor might give a headline that has little to anything to do with the actual article, and people don't bother getting past the headline part.
Right. You read a paragraph, you'll understand how it relates.
Yeah.
But if you don't read that paragraph, you're just speaking like an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you vote for one.
Yeah.
That was my Trump jab of the night.
I was like a Carl Jr. in Colorado. First time I ever went to one of those, by the way. It was pretty good. But anyway, I was listening to these two guys. They were watching, there was like a TV on, and there was something about North Korea. Yeah, you actually couldn't even hear the volume, really. So the guys just, I guess, it had nothing to do with anything, but he was like, see, Trump just says what he wants to. A lot of people are scared of that. I'm like, that was always the biggest, like, pro-Trump argument, like, well, he just says what's on his mind. I'm like,
first off, that's not a good thing. That's not always a good thing.
That's rarely ever a good trait.
Right. Secondly,
people who have,
oh, go ahead.
People who have no filter are the most annoying people.
Yeah.
Or they're just dicks. Like
right.
Biff from Back to the Future just would say whatever was on his mind, and he was a real dick.
Look at Back to the Future 2 when he fucked up everything.
Yep.
With his casinos.
Yeah. Yeah, his casinos and his real estate ventures. Yeah, because that was the evil timeline, the evil 1985 timeline.
Yep.
Interesting.
I actually didn't even think about that before. I might have to do some more looking into that, the parallels.
Because Biff, even though that's himself, since they interacted and they both existed, they're technically relatives.
True.
Because if they have their own separate lives, so then Biff made all of his money because a relative basically handed it to him.
Right.
And he screwed up everything.
Yeah.
Ran everything into the ground. That sounds awfully familiar.
It does sound familiar. Like having a small loan from your parents of $10 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other point, the second part of him speaking his mind is, no, I don't think he does speak his mind. I think he speaks what people want to hear, what a certain group of people want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, if you think he's just coming off the top of his head and speaking, you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
I have to give him credit. I have to. He's a smart guy, I think. But
oh yeah, for sure.
You know, like
he's got to be.
Go ahead.
Oh, go on.
I mean, his whole campaign was nothing but keywords that Republicans have been saying for decades.
Yeah.
More jobs, immigration, guns, God.
Yeah, yeah. He's just, and then like people saying like, well, he's not a politician, he's a businessman. Like, that just means he's used to lying and kissing ass and getting
right.
whatever it takes for, instead of money, this time it's votes. There's really no difference.
Along with that, I mean, yeah, great. He's a businessman. And a good businessman. A
That's
good
for the
one.
most part. When he's not running like half of his businesses into the ground.
Right. But like, just because he's a businessman doesn't mean he's the answer to solve all the problems.
Right.
But you say the right keywords to the right people and they'll support you.
Absolutely.
Which is why we start a cult tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. We got to figure that out.
Can we start a cult of procrastination?
I'd be good. I'd be successful in a managerial position, but I feel like we might not make as much money doing that.
Because, like, we couldn't be strict when it came to payment time. Because we'd have to give them, like, leeway, because we're the cult of procrastination. That's a bad idea. Scratch it. That's a bad idea.
We could be the cult of go-getters.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could just get a bunch of, like, 60, 70-year-old people to be our, like, manager, like, the cult of don't sleep the day away.
The cult of the early bird gets the morning worm.
Yeah, cult of up and at 'em.
Or if we wait too long, it's the cult of where's my socks?
Yeah. Cult of you're not my son. Where am I?
The cult of such a disappointment. Where am I? I just caught that. I kind of feel like none of those are going to work out well either.
Yeah.
No, we just have to keep brainstorming. We'll have a cult.
Yeah. It's pretty easy.
It's got to be.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, the Herald camping is kind of funny, like, after he failed to predict the end of the world, like, they're kind of interviewing some of his former congregation members, and they're all talking about how it felt really culty. Like, yeah, he told you the world was going to end, so you should donate money.
It should have been at least a yellow flag, if not an entire red flag.
Yeah, that's like what cults would do.
Let's take a look at old Harold Camping. Let's do 21 things you should know about this asshole. Oh, he's not a trained Bible scholar.
Oh, interesting. Could have fooled me.
He has a BS in civil engineering from UC Berkeley. Berkeley, there it is.
He's actually a Berkeley guy. That kind of surprises me for some reason.
Oh, I knew what I was going to try to tie in. Was the Richard Dawkins?
Yeah.
Did I tell you that he got his speech canceled?
At Berkeley?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
honestly, Berkeley seems like his type of crowd.
Well, the thing is, Richard Dawkins talks about religion equally. He thinks they're all stupid. And when you go to Berkeley, you can't think Muslims are stupid, or the Muslim religion is stupid.
Where does it stop? That's insane.
Yeah.
Who's going to be allowed to speak there?
It's nuts. Like, people have to realize there's two different ways to be against. Well, I mean, let's just take Islam for example. There's two different ways to be against Islam. There's it's a religion, and therefore should be ridiculed for being a religion if the ideas are nonsense, which they are. Or there's the bigotry side from the people we spoke of earlier on the right side, they're brown, therefore they're bad.
Yeah.
But they're two different thoughts. Just because you speak badly about something doesn't mean you're a bigot about it.
Right. Like most rational people
right.
are going to know the difference. That's ridiculous.
I'm not anti-Islam because of the race that's involved. I think Islam, just like Christianity, just like any religion, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It just means that I don't think the religion of any kind is correct. So to ban someone because they talk bad about a religion, not only that, they speak bad about multiple religions, but because they speak bad about the one you're protecting.
Yeah, no, that was just going to be the point that I made, was that he is known, that's his thing,
right,
to hate all religions. He said bad things about every last one of them, because there are bad things about every last one of them.
Right. But you mentioned Islam, and you're automatically a bigot. It's bullshit.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. I'm actually kind of surprised to hear that, because Berkeley seems like his type of place. But yeah, like where does it end with those people?
It's
ridiculous.
As long as you're the right kind of open-minded.
Yeah,
you know? As long as they agree with you and you agree with them, you're not a bigot. But the minute you step outside of their little box.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. Because I guarantee he said far more. He's criticized Christianity far more.
Yeah.
And last time I checked, I don't think they had much of a problem with that.
No. That's one of the reasons he got invited there.
Who are they going to have to, they keep canceling everybody's speaking engagements at Berkeley. Like, who are they going to allow? Like, someone's going to come in and say, like, I like everybody, everybody's nice, and that's the end of the speech?
Yes.
like that's what's gonna have to happen for them to appease everyone.
Right. They're gonna have to iron out that thought, so it's like a 4-minute speech.
Yeah, at least.
Everyone's nice. I like everybody. No one upsets me. I like
Or
the
just
planet.
what would probably be more effective is if someone just went there and said, "I agree with you. You're right." I think that's what.
Just a bunch of yes
That would
men.
probably. Yeah, that would probably go over best. I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of forgot where I was going with that.
No, that's just infuriating.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what the irony is that the Islamic fundamentalists are just as bad about free speech. Like that's kind of the irony of it.
Right.
They just like the far left people just publicly shame you.
But it's just, I don't know. I'm not sure how you can, on one hand, care about equal rights, be, pro LGBTQ, be pro free speech, and then defend the people who kill people over those same issues.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand that concept.
No, it doesn't really make it does not really make a whole lot of sense.
But in saying that, that doesn't make me a bigot. It doesn't make you a bigot for agreeing.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem I think we have right now is the idiots on the far left don't understand that.
Yeah.
Or the regressive left, I should say. They're being called now. They're regressive lefts. You can disagree with something without being racist or a bigot or any other word they want to use.
Yeah, apparently there's just no distinction between the two anymore, and
that's a problem.
It's too bad. Like, there's no longer such a thing as just talking it out.
Right.
You have to just yell at each other or try to publicly shame people. Yeah. Yeah.
It's nuts. It's not going to get us anywhere.
No. If you're going to come at one person aggressive, they're just less likely to want to hear you out, or you're at least not going to get your point across doing that.
Right.
Fucking Berkeley. They can't go 2 weeks without just annoying the shit out of me.
It's on their calendar. Piss off Chris. Oh, should we work in the confession of the week?
Oh yeah.
I have a dumb one.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something. Yeah.
We're gonna try to do a confession of the week, and this week's confession is the fact that sometimes I eat Keebler Elf cookies without reading the back of the cookie to see what the elves are telling me to do.
Oh.
Have you seen that? The back of the Keebler Elf cookies always have like a little message.
Yeah, I always forget about that.
Yeah, me too. And I feel bad. I feel like these poor little elves in the trees worked so hard to engrave specific messages, and I just eat it without thinking about it. I feel bad, and I wanted to get that off my shoulders.
Well, I do I'm glad you came clean. I do a similar thing. Like, I'll get the Laffy Taffies, and sometimes I won't read the hilarious jokes that are on the wrapper.
And that's
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, and I feel your pain. Because much like the elves thing, people went through great effort to come up with jokes for the Laffy Taffy
wrappers. I was going to say, there's some comedy writer who's probably, he's at his desk, he's got a loaded gun on it, that he's, seconds away from pointing to his head, because this is where his comedy career led him, is writing Laffy Taffy jokes.
And then we just, selfishly just throw the wrapper away.
Yeah, I just throw it on the street, or in a bush, or in a bird's nest, or wherever. I was reading the joke.
You put Laffy Taffy wrappers in birds' nests?
Yeah.
Here you go, little birdies, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like if the person who wrote those Laffy Taffy jokes knew that you were helping birds, that maybe he wouldn't feel so bad.
Yeah, except most of them choke and die on them, so...
Yeah, that's true. Stupid birds.
If he was a real nature guy, he might not appreciate that.
Yeah. But that's my confession of the week.
Yeah. Well, confession is important. It keeps us.
It is. I feel so liberated.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
Well, yeah. No,
and it's not like I mean to do it,
Yeah.
But sometimes I just take a huge bite out of a Keebler Elf cookie, and I'm like, oh, what was he going to say? And it turns out to be like the elf, and then it cut off. And I never know.
Yeah.
I feel terrible. That's all I got.
Yeah, I like to bite their heads off first so I can end their suffering.
Yeah. It's like, do they have a union? Do the Keebler Elves have a union they can deal with?
I would hope so.
Because I almost feel like it's terrible, the fact that they not only have to make cookies in a tree, which can't be easy at all, but then they also have to make the cookies shaped after themselves, knowing they're going to be eaten.
Yeah.
That's twisted.
And they're elves. Yeah, and they're elves, so that's probably about a good... The cookies are probably about the actual size of the elf, so that makes it even more terrifying.
Right. Like, oh my god, what if we get mixed up for one of these cookies?
And you can't bake cookies without heat and inside of a tree. Yeah, that's going to be dangerous.
It is. The codes, the safety codes they have to go by, I can't imagine.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, there's probably not a lot of fire exits and emergency exits because then, squirrels and other critters might get in there and eat the elves.
Right. You have to balance your safety to get out versus the safety of something bad coming in. And that's a dangerous line to be tiptoeing on,
We should really unionize the elves because they're working in very dangerous conditions.
Right. And at the very least, read the message.
Yeah, and I don't think we should be calling them elves because
that's true.
That's the shortest thing to say.
That's right.
They're, I don't know what you'd call them. I was trying to think of a PC phrase.
I'm going to do, hold on a second.
Or maybe they're height fluid because they consider they don't, I don't know. They identify with tall people, so they got new words every day, so I can not keep up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like the Keebler goblins, that doesn't really flow. The Keebler dwarfs, I kind of feel like that's an insult.
Yeah.
Man, none of these are any good. I don't know. That'll be the...
Yeah, if anyone actually listens and they can help us out with that, that'd be great, because I don't know.
Yeah, if you're listening to this on YouTube, write down in the comments section what you think the Keebler elves should be named more PC.
Yeah, because I don't want to offend anyone, obviously.
Obviously. That's not what we're here for.
No.
Especially when people, or... Are they even people? I feel like that's insulting to even ask.
Oh my God, are you saying they're not? Oh, that's worse.
Man, I feel terrible. Here I was trying to shed some light, and now I just insulted him even worse.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Keeblers. Can we just call them Keeblers?
I don't know if that's okay either.
Right, because trademark.
That would be like if we called people of color, if we just called them Africans.
Yeah, that's true.
Cause I wonder if Keebler is I wonder if Keebler is their ethnicity, or elf. No, wait, maybe elves are their ethnicity, and Keebler is their sect. So we can't say anything anti-Keebler, or else I won't be allowed to speak at Berkeley.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true. You know what? I bet you nothing, because I can't afford it, but I bet you nothing that the answer to our questions are on the back of Keebler Elves cookies, and we just fucking don't read them.
Oh, you're right. Well, mystery solved.
Yep.
Yeah, right, that's the lesson I want to give out, is if you want answers in life, don't go reading through any religious texts, don't go to any New Age communes, just eat Keeblers.
Yep. And read the back of them, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, read the back of them.
By the way, I think I legally have to say that we are not endorsed or sponsored or affiliated with Keebler Elves Cookies.
No, we should be.
We should be. Keebler, we're watching out for you.
Yeah.
Send us cookies.
Yeah, no one wants the lefties to go after them.
Right. I think with that note, I think that pretty much sums up the entire message.
I guess so.
Thanks, Keebler.
Yeah, thanks, Keebler.
Well, thanks again for listening. And if you happen to be the CEO for Keebler Products, write down what you would like to be called.
Yeah, or just hire me on your PR staff. I'll knock it out of the park.
That sounds like a better idea.
Yeah.
So tune in next week when we go after Snapple and their lids.
Yeah. Yeah, we're coming after Snapple next. We're just trying to help.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget you can like and subscribe on YouTube if you're listening to us there. Or you can subscribe on iTunes so you can be updated as soon as we upload another episode. Thanks again, everyone, for listening. We'll talk to you next time.